Hi, my name is Victor Wasef. I am a pretend engineer. Anybody real quick? Anybody interested in engineering? Anybody? It doesn't matter. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Victor Wasef. I graduated from Polytech University, also known as Polytech Institute of Technology of NYU, now known as Tandem University of Technology, part of NYU. Yes, they just bought us. What do I do now? I work in the aerospace field. I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I have a focus in aerospace technologies. Where do I work with? I work directly with my customer, Pratt & Whitney. We build turbine engines for airplanes such as the Airbus A320, A319, A318. Also, you guys have seen the new F-135 jet. Anybody seen it? Anybody into planes? Anybody? Nobody. Great. So the new F-135 is great because it uses a geared turbofan technology, which is killing the industry right now. And it has several capabilities. This is with the federal government, which means I do have clearances and I can't just travel on my own. Now, other things. I could take my master's and then go get my PhD. Usually in engineering, do we have any other engineers here? Anyone? No? Architecture. So engineering kind of gets absorbed into architecture. They deal with a lot more than we do. But one of the things along becoming a professional is getting your FE, which is the Fundamentals of Engineering certification. And then from there you can get your professional engineering license to be able to sign off on things and be recognized by the government. It's a 4-year program to get my bachelor's. And then for the certifications and the licensing, it's usually at least 5 years after that. Engineering is not only mechanical engineering, we have a bunch of different fields. You have mechanical, electrical, nuclear, you have biomedical, mechatronics, and even within those categories, there are different fields. So you have engineering design, you have cost engineering, you have project management on the engineering side. You have a supply chain, which is a lot of what I deal with, which is fast-paced, high stress. That's basically it. Enjoy. Education's next.
So I'm going to just talk a little bit on what the process is to go into education. So it started off by actually, when I started college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I was a sociology major. I went to Stony Brook, and later when I did enjoy the idea of it, I decided that I'm gonna go straight for my master's. And in order for you to become an educator, it's mandated that you get your master's degree. You also kind of have to get it within the first 5 years of teaching. So you can teach with a bachelor's degree, but you have to have your certifications and your master's. To talk to you a little bit about my job now, so I'm a second grade teacher. I teach all subjects, and it requires a lot of planning. But prior to, you kind of have a bit of different steps that you have to take. So Delia is going to talk to you about those steps.
So my name is Delia. I've been a teacher for 5 years. As she said, you have to have your bachelor's. Not necessarily in education. If you get it in something else, that's okay. But within 5 years, you have to have your master's. You're also going to take a lot of certification tests. I think there's about 4 right now.
And the EdTPA.
Yes, and there's something new called the EdTPA. It's something that you take in addition to your degree. It's exams, basically. The next step is to do student teaching. So your college, whatever college you go to, I went to Queens College, is going to place you in a school. Let's say you want to be an elementary school teacher. They're going to put you in a school, and you don't get to pick your class. So you might end up with kindergarten, you might end up with 5th grade, you might end up with 3rd grade. You don't know. You do about 6 weeks in each grade level, 2 grade levels. And then after that, you can try and get into subbing. That's your best way to get into a job, is to start out as a substitute teacher. If they like you and you're on time and you do what you're supposed to do, then they'll call you more often and you can get a full-time position. So the intro pay, I think right now is $50,000 starting salary, which honestly, if you're gonna go into teaching, it's not about the money. You're not gonna be rich. You're not gonna make a lot of money. But what you will do is you'll have great benefits for you, your family. So you're going to have health insurance, dental, all these medical expenses for free. Okay? You don't pay anything out of your paycheck, and it's for you, your family, your kids. So you can become a classroom teacher like Mira is and teach all subjects. I'm a cluster teacher. So a cluster teacher is basically someone that specializes in one topic, and you only teach that. So for example, you can be a cluster science teacher, a social studies teacher. So right now I'm doing kindergarten social studies, which means that I'm only planning for one subject, which is much easier than what Mira does.
I plan for 6.
She plans for 6 subjects a day. I plan for 1 subject a day. So it's totally different. So you really have to think about how much stress you want, how much time you have. Do you want to be a classroom teacher? Do you want to be a cluster teacher? It doesn't matter about your pay grade. So at the end of the day, your pay goes by how many years you've been doing your job, and if you have a bachelor's or a master's. You don't get paid according to your subject, which is good. So if you're just going to do general ed, it's going to be pretty hard to get a job. You have to have your master's in your specialty. So for example, after you get your general ed degree, you can go back to school and get your special ed degree. You can get an ESL degree for teaching English to non-English speakers. You have to get a specialty. When you have your specialty, you're more marketable to principals. Principals are more likely to hire you if you have a specialty. Anything else?
And also, I know that the best way is definitely subbing. So I think this would be a good opportunity for you while you're in college. You can actually start subbing and get your foot in the door, feel it out, see if it's for you. Because a lot of people say, I love children and I know I could work with them, but when you're really in it and you see how overwhelming it can get, that's a big decision that you're going to have to make. So subbing is actually a really great way to kind of see if this is right for you. And like Delia said, it's good for the principal to see you, and you're exposed in the school to see how you work. So by doing so, you have a greater opportunity of being hired in that school. So also when you are subbing, make sure that you choose a neighborhood that you're interested in. I know one of the biggest difficulties is really where you're working, not necessarily what you're doing. So definitely venture off, see schools in your neighborhood or whatnot, because that's ultimately where you're going to probably end up working.
I'm going to give you guys the insight about getting to dental school, and he's going to give you what the real life is like. So I went through 4 years of undergrad in Macaulay Honors College, which I believe Bishoy is going to speak about. And then I took the DAT, which is the entrance exam to dental school, which is similar to the MCAT, if you guys are understand that. And so undergrad, you have to pretty much take all the science classes. There's certain prerequisites that we can speak about on the side, but it's like the biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, all of the annoying stuff. And then you have to take the DAT, which is usually during your junior year of your college career. And along with that, I would suggest that you also need to be super involved in school communities. So if there's clubs like I, for example, was involved in the Habitat for Humanity Club. I started it with a few of my friends in my campus, which we went around building homes. They just need to see that you're a well-rounded person, that you're not just all about school and that you're just a dweeb, because they don't want awkward people that are just going to sit and study all day. They want people that can talk with patients in the future, be able to have conversation. And to speak a little bit about what dental school is like so far, I don't have too much experience, and Shadi will tell you guys more about that, but don't let yourselves think that, the dental field is easier than the medical field, so if I can't do medicine, I'm going to do dental field, because there's a lot of people like that in my class right now, and they hate their lives, because it's not a field by no means that's easier. It's a different focus, but the same difficulty. So a lot of people are miserable right now because they thought it was going to be easy and they're going to graduate, whatever. But if you don't enjoy it, or don't let no offense to the parents, don't let any of your parents force you into something, because also realize that this is going to be the rest of your life. You're not going to be able to, when you're 35 years old and graduated on $5 trillion in loans, to realize, I want to be a chef. Okay, so let's be honest with ourselves. That's the most important thing that I see a lot of in the school right now. A lot of people that were forced into it, and they're very unhappy because it's a lot of work. So if you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach me, but Shadi will finish off with the rest.
All right, guys. So I am finished with what he's going through and complaining about. And everybody in school will complain regardless of what career choice you choose. I think the biggest thing is to realize that this is what I want to do, and I'm going to take all the appropriate measures to get there. Because when you're sitting in chemistry class like I was, or physics, or stuff that I don't use on a day-to-day basis at all, I'm thinking to myself, why do I need to learn this? Why do I need to blah, blah, blah to become a dentist? Okay, sorry. So you just, whatever you want, the biggest thing I could tell you is do as much planning as you can to figure out what you want to do. And once you know what you want to do, you're going to take the goods with the bads. There's going to be tough classes. Don't let that make you lose focus of what you want to be, whether dentist or whether anything else. Just to touch up on my school experience, I went to St. John's for 4 years. I studied biology as well. You could have, the cool thing about going to medicine or dental or other field is you could be any major as long as you take certain science criteria. And they actually like that because they see that you are well-rounded, just like Abanuba said. Took the DATs, which is the dental aptitude test, and then applied to dental school. And I ended up going to dental school in Buffalo, so it's far away. But it was good because it allowed me to focus on school and, got my education. After dental school, in dental school, again, you take physics, all these, organic chemistry, all these fun classes. After dental school, you apply for residency. So now you learned all this stuff in dental school, and now it's time to do it in the real world. Most of the times, people are not ready to start seeing patients right after dental school, so they do residency. Some states don't require residency. New York requires residency. So I ended up doing residency in a hospital in Brooklyn for 2 years. Why I did 2 years? Number one is within the field of dentistry, there's many other subcategories. There's dentists who do braces, there's dentists who do root canals, there's dentists who treat children, there's different categories of that. I wanted to treat children, so I specialized in the dentistry, and I'm a pediatric dentist, so I only treat children. So after the general residency that I did, I applied to become a pediatric dentist. Now, obviously, as you go down the line in anything, it becomes harder and harder to get into. But again, goes back to this is what I want to do. I'm going to take all the appropriate measures to get into that field. I love my job. I love what I do now. Did I enjoy what it took for me to get here? Absolutely not. But again, the final goal is I'm very content in what I do. I feel like I'm doing a service, but getting financially rewarded for it as well. And the job is very flexible. If I don't want to work Monday or Tuesday, I can make my schedule that I don't work Monday or Tuesday. If I want to work, 7 days a week and make more money, I could do that. If I want to, I have 2 children, so I'm on a little bit working less time so I could spend time with my children and hanging out.
Hi guys, so Sophie Davis is the program I'm in. It's a 7-year program, BSMD. So what that means is that it's a combined program. So after 3 years, you get your bachelor's degree, and then 4 years, you get your MD degree. The actual program is in City College, which is one of the CUNYs. I'm in year 5. You have to take the SAT and the ACT to get in, so make sure you take the ACT